All right, everyone, welcome back. Today, we're going to be diving into the world of dog adoption.
Sounds fun.
Yeah. And we're going to be taking a closer look at the Pet Adoption Center of Orange County.
Okay.
PACC for short.
Okay.
Yeah. What really got me excited about PACC is their focus on finding the perfect match
Mm-hmm.
between a dog's personality and the adopter's lifestyle.
Yeah.
They're not just about getting dogs adopted. They're about making sure that those adoptions last.
Right.
What do you think the secret to their success is?
Well, I think it's fascinating, how Paycock goes beyond the usual meet and greet.
Yeah.
At a shelter, they really delve deeper into the dog's behavioral history,
Yeah.
temperament, and they do a lot of evaluations
Okay.
to understand their energy levels, their anxieties, how they interact with other animals and people.
Yeah.
And this really helps paint a clearer picture of the dog's true personality
Mm-hmm.
beyond the adorable, puppy dog eyes.
It's so true. So it's less about falling in love with a cute face at the shelter and more about truly understanding if a dog's personality will thrive in your home environment.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I think this approach is especially beneficial for dogs who might have, had a rough past,
Mm-hmm.
maybe experienced some trauma,
Yeah.
or just haven't had, consistent training. Understanding their needs is key to placing them in a home that sets them up for success.
Right.
I'm curious, in the research that you've done,
Yeah.
have you come across any specific examples of how this in-depth evaluation process has led to successful adoptions?
I did.
Oh, great.
One of the articles highlighted a dog who had been returned to shelters multiple times
Wow.
because of separation anxiety.
Oh, wow.
Potential adopters were drawn to his playful nature at the shelter but weren't prepared for his distress when left alone.
Yeah.
Paycock recognized this pattern, and through their evaluation process, they were able to match him with a family who worked from home and could provide the constant companionship that he needed.
That's wonderful.
I know, it's amazing how understanding a dog's unique challenges can be the key to finding their perfect forever home.
That's a great example, and it really highlights the importance of Paycock's commitment to responsible adoption. They're not just thinking about the immediate happiness of the adopter and the dog,
Yeah,
but the long-term well-being of both.
right.
This brings me to another point that really struck me.
Okay.
It's this idea that adopting a shelter dog can be especially beneficial for veterans,
Right.
particularly those dealing with PTSD.
Yeah, I found that connection fascinating too. While going through the research, I was particularly drawn to the stories of veterans who found solace and healing through their bond with shelter dogs.
Yeah.
And what I found impactful was this idea that these dogs provide a constant source of unconditional love and support, something that can be incredibly grounding for someone struggling with emotional trauma.
It goes even deeper than that.
Oh.
The responsibility of caring for a dog can give veterans a renewed sense of purpose, routine, which can be incredibly helpful during their transition back to civilian life.
Right.
Dogs also provide a sense of security and companionship,
Mm.
helping veterans manage anxiety and social isolation, common challenges faced by those with PTSD.
Yeah, it's incredible how the simple act of caring for a dog can have such a profound impact on a person's mental and emotional well-being.
It really is.
Speaking of the care involved,
Yeah.
we need to talk about Paycock's incredible volunteer program. Over 80 volunteers contribute to the smooth running of this organization.
That's a lot of people.
It is.
Yeah.
Did you find any details about the types of volunteer opportunities available at Paycock?
I did, and it's impressive how diverse the roles are.
Okay.
You have your typical dog walking and caretaking roles,
Yeah.
which are vital for the dog's physical and emotional health.
Right.
But there's so much more.
Okay.
Paycock relies on volunteers for administrative tasks, event planning. They even have a dedicated social media team spreading the word about adoptable dogs.
Oh.
And events like the South County Pet Expo.
Oh, the South County Pet Expo caught my eye, too.
Oh, yeah.
A collaborative event with the city of Lake Forest in Orange County.
It's a great event.
That sounds like a fantastic opportunity to connect with other pet lovers and learn more about responsible pet ownership.
Absolutely. And it highlights how Paycock's success is deeply intertwined with community support.
Yeah.
These volunteers are the backbone of the organization,
Yeah.
dedicating their time and passion to ensure that these dogs find their forever homes.
It's really inspiring.
It is.
Speaking of finding the right home,
Yeah.
one of the sources discussed common misconceptions about shelter dogs.
Okay.
It's a topic I think we need to address.
Absolutely.
I think the biggest misconception is that all shelter dogs have behavioral issues, which is simply not true.
Right.
Many end up in shelters due to circumstances beyond their control. Maybe their owner passed away, or their family had to move to a place that didn't allow pets.
Exactly.
And this myth perpetuates a negative stigma, preventing many people from considering adoption.
Yeah, I think another misconception is this idea that purebred dogs are somehow better than mixed breeds.
Oh, I'm so glad you brought that up. In fact, many mixed breed dogs are incredibly healthy and well adjusted, often benefiting from something called hybrid vigor,
Right.
meaning they have a lower chance of inheriting genetic health conditions common to certain purebred lineages. And let's be honest,
Yeah.
sometimes those unique mixes result in the most adorable and unique looking pups.
Absolutely. And ultimately, it's about finding a companion whose personality and energy level mesh well with your lifestyle.
Hmm.
So let's debunk another myth while we're at it. The idea that older dogs are harder to adopt. This simply isn't true.
Yeah,
Many older dogs in shelters are already house-trained and have a calmer demeanor.
you're so right. And they're often overlooked,
Hmm.
which is a shame because they can make the most wonderful companions,
Yeah,
especially for people who prefer a more laid-back dog.
absolutely.
There you have it. Debunking those myths is a vital step towards encouraging more people to consider the amazing dogs waiting for their forever homes at shelters like Petcock.
Couldn't agree more. It's about shifting our focus from breed or appearance to truly understanding a dog's personality and needs.
Exactly. Speaking of understanding needs, did you come across anything interesting about dog diets in the research?
I did.
Oh,
It was a
really?
fascinating section about incorporating green beans as healthy treats for dogs.
Green bean.
Green beans.
Wow.
It's a great low-calorie option that's packed with fiber and vitamins.
That's a fantastic tip for all the dog owners out there. I'm always on the lookout for healthy treat alternatives for my pup.
Me too. It's a reminder that, like humans, dogs thrive on a balanced diet.
That's so true.
Yeah.
We'll be right back to delve deeper into responsible pet ownership and explore more of what makes Petcock such a special organization.
Awesome. And we're back continuing our deep dive into Petcock and the world of dog adoption.
Before the break, we were discussing the importance of a balanced diet for our canine companions.
Right.
It's such a crucial aspect of responsible pet ownership.
It is.
And speaking of responsible ownership,
Yeah.
I was particularly struck by a story in one of the articles about an overweight French bulldog.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
It highlighted how easy it is for dogs to become overweight if their diet and exercise aren't properly managed.
It's a common problem, unfortunately. We tend to show our love for our pets through treats and extra snacks.
I know, it's so true.
But it's important to remember that what we might perceive as kindness can actually be detrimental to their health.
Absolutely. The article mentioned how after being adopted into a home with a structured feeding schedule and regular walks, the French bulldog lost a significant amount of weight
Oh, great.
and regained his energy and vitality.
Oh,
It's a powerful reminder that even small changes in diet and exercise can make a world of difference for our furry friends.
it really does highlight the importance of understanding a dog's specific needs
Right.
and tailoring their care accordingly.
Yeah.
And it speaks to the dedication of organizations like Paycock, who go above and beyond to educate adopters on responsible pet ownership.
Speaking of Paycock, I'm curious to know more about how they address another common challenge in dog adoption: matching dogs with families who have existing pets.
That's a great question.
How do they handle that?
It's one of the areas where Paycock's meticulous approach really shines.
Okay.
They understand that introducing a new dog into a home with existing pets can be tricky.
Yeah.
It's not always a seamless transition.
From what I gathered, Paycock requires all family members, including existing pets, to meet the potential dog before finalizing the adoption.
Precisely.
Okay.
They facilitate carefully supervised meet and greets,
Okay.
allowing the dogs to interact in a controlled environment.
Mm.
This allows them to assess compatibility, looking for signs of positive interactions,
Like what?
like relaxed body language, playful engagement, and a general sense of ease between the dogs.
That makes so much sense. It's all about minimizing potential conflicts and setting everyone up for success. Did the research mention any specific strategies they use to ensure smooth introductions?
Yes, it did.
Okay.
They recommend gradual introductions, starting with scent swapping, where the dogs get used to each other's smells before actually meeting face to face.
Interesting.
Then they progress to short, supervised interactions in neutral areas, gradually increasing the time spent together as the dogs become more comfortable.
It's fascinating how much thought and care goes into this process. It really shows Paycock's commitment to finding the best possible fit for every dog, taking into account the dynamics of the entire family.
And it's not just about managing the initial introduction. PACOS also provides ongoing support and resources for adopters,
Oh, wow.
offering guidance on training, socialization, and addressing any behavioral challenges that might arise.
It's like they're partners throughout the entire adoption journey, which is so reassuring for new pet parents. Now, switching gears a bit, there's another aspect of Paycock's work that I found incredibly inspiring. Their efforts to connect veterans with shelter dogs.
Yes, we touched on this earlier,
Yeah,
but it's definitely worth exploring further.
absolutely.
The bond between veterans and shelter dogs is truly special.
What struck me was this idea that both veterans and shelter dogs have often experienced some form of trauma or loss. They've both faced challenges that many of us can't even imagine.
Exactly.
And in each other, they find a source of comfort, understanding, and unconditional love.
It's a beautiful example of how two individuals, both in need of healing and companionship, can come together and create a powerful, mutually beneficial bond.
Did the research delve into any specific programs that facilitate these connections?
It did.
Oh, great.
There are organizations like Canines for Warriors and Pets for Patriots that specialize in pairing veterans with shelter dogs, often providing specialized training to support both the veteran and the dog.
That's fantastic. It's heartwarming to see such dedicated efforts to support veterans
Yeah.
and provide them with the companionship and emotional support they deserve.
It's a testament to the incredible healing power of dogs
Mm-hmm.
and their ability to make a positive impact on our lives in countless ways.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me wonder if there are other groups or individuals who could benefit from the companionship of a shelter dog.
That's an interesting thought. I imagine seniors living alone, people with disabilities, or even children facing emotional challenges could all experience similar benefits from having a furry friend by their side.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it reinforces the idea that adopting a dog isn't just about finding a pet. It's about welcoming a new member into your family, a companion who can enrich your life in ways you might never have imagined.
Well said.
Thanks.
And speaking of enriching our lives, earlier we were discussing those fun info mugs you discovered.
Oh, yeah.
I'm still chuckling about the fact that they feature a fun fact about each dog breed on the back.
I know, right?
What a clever way to combine a love of dogs with a warm beverage.
It's such a unique and engaging way to learn about different breeds. I remember you mentioned they had mugs for Chihuahuas, Malamutes, Beagles, Australian Shepherds.
And Sharp-Eyes Poodles and French Bulldogs.
Oh, that's right. Quite a diverse collection.
Yeah.
It would be fantastic if they expanded their line to include mugs featuring mixed breed dogs.
What a great idea. It would be a fun way to showcase the beauty and diversity of mixed breeds, further encouraging people to consider adoption.
Exactly. And speaking of showcasing the beauty of dogs, I'm curious, have you ever been to a dog show?
I haven't. I've always been fascinated by the world of dog shows, but I've never had the opportunity to attend one in person. I've seen glimpses on TV with all the perfectly groomed dogs strutting their stuff, but I imagine there's so much more to it than meets the eye.
You're absolutely right. There's a whole world of dedication, training, and passion behind those perfectly executed performances. It's not just about appearances. It's about showcasing the unique qualities and abilities of each breed.
I imagine it's also a fantastic opportunity to connect with other dog lovers and learn from experienced breeders and handlers.
It is.
Wow.
It's a celebration of the human-animal bond and the incredible diversity of the canine world.
And we're back. We were just talking about dog shows before we went away there for a second.
Yeah, they're really something. Those dog shows.
It's amazing to see all the different broods and how much work goes into preparing them. But, getting back to what we were talking about before,
Right.
shelter dogs.
Yeah.
I came across another story while I was doing research that just really resonated with me.
Okay.
It was about this young boy struggling with really bad anxiety and selective mutism.
Oh, wow.
He wouldn't talk.
Really?
Yeah, and he had withdrawn from social interaction, and it was so hard for him to communicate.
That's really tough.
And his family, they were heartbroken. They were really looking for ways to help him, to help him come out of his shell a little bit.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
So they adopted this really gentle older dog from a local shelter,
Hmm.
and the impact was almost immediate. The
Really?
dog's calm demeanor and his unconditional love created a safe space for the boy.
Oh, wow.
He started talking to the dog, sharing his fears and anxieties, things that he just couldn't express to anybody else.
It's amazing.
Mm.
So the dog became a bridge for him.
Exactly. It helped him find his voice again.
That's incredible.
And gradually that confidence, it went beyond just their bond, you know?
Mm-hmm.
The boy started interacting more with his family, participating in activities he'd been avoiding before. The dog, the dog's presence had this ripple effect, you know?
Yeah.
It transformed not just the boy's life, but the whole family.
It's amazing how dogs can do that.
Mhm.
It's a reminder that adopting a dog can really bring families closer.
That's a great point. You know, fostering that communication, that shared sense of purpose, it's really incredible.
It is.
And it just emphasizes the importance of organizations like Paycock because they so carefully consider everyone's needs.
That's what sets them apart. They're
Yeah.
really dedicated to creating these lasting bonds and building a community of responsible and loving pet owners.
That's a great way to put it. One of the articles talked about how important it is to have resources and education available for dog owners.
Well, for sure. Owning a dog is a learning process. Always something new to discover.
Right.
Whether it's, learning about training techniques or understanding their behavior or, staying up to date on the latest recommendations for their health and nutrition.
Yeah, it's a constant learning curve. It's just like any relationship, you know?
Yeah.
It takes effort, understanding, and you got to be willing to adapt.
Definitely. And having access to those reliable resources can make a huge difference,
Absolutely.
for navigating those challenges and strengthening that bond.
Yeah.
I mean, PSOC, they offer workshops, training classes. You can even do one-on-one consultations
Wow. So they really are there to support adopters every step of the way.
every step of the way,
Hmm.
because they understand that adoption it's an ongoing process. It's not just a one-time event.
Right, and that really creates a sense of community, too.
It does.
It brings people together.
It's about building a culture of compassion and understanding where dogs are seen as part of the family,
Mhm.
part of the community.
I love that. It's so true. As we wrap up this deep dive, I'm just so impressed with the work that Peace Pocket does and just the power of dog adoption. It's truly amazing.
Yeah, me too. It's been a really eye-opening experience, reminding us about responsible pet ownership and the needs of shelter dogs and that amazing bond we can have with these animals.
Absolutely. And if any of our listeners are thinking about getting a dog,
Yeah.
please consider adoption.
Yes.
Visit your local shelters, talk to the experts, and be open to that possibility of finding the perfect match.
Every dog deserves a loving home.
Yeah.
And and by choosing adoption, you're not just giving a dog a second chance. You're enriching your own life in ways you might never imagine.
That's such a great point. Well, thank you for joining me on this deep dive into the world of dog adoption. Until next time, embrace the joy and companionship that only a furry friend can bring.
Until we bond again.